call this Vernon County Workshop to order. Today is Tuesday, July 29, 2025. It's 10 a.m. Wait, sorry.
Nope, it is.
It is 10:56 a.m. We're at Vernon County Courthouse, 220 South Pier, second floor courtroom, Vernon, Texas 78611. So we'll start off with a review of the Road and Bridge precinct. Review and discuss FY26 budget proposals regarding the following departments and agencies: Road and Bridge Precinct 1, Road and Bridge Precinct 2, Road and Bridge Precinct 3, Road and Bridge Precinct 4. Is there any public comment? All right, commissioners, have up together with the clerk, isn't it? We have Road and Bridge Precinct 1. This made some modifications to the proposed budget. Is there anything we discussed on this issue, Mr. Boozer?
We did make an increase to utilities. Most of that is in garbage. We pick up the garbage at the county park. Of course, an increase in trash and utilities, that portion of it. Let's see. Professional services is Other than that, the budget stays the same, other than whatever is decided on the COLA and the step.
All right. Anything on precinct 2?
I was just looking at on this sheet the percentage increase. I don't know what I did to create a 34% increase, but if you can improve that, I'll take it. But I don't think I meant to expect that big of an increase in our budget.
And it might not be correct. So
No, you're fine. I just other than moving some line items around and getting some more money in our fuel, that I had to do a big transfer this year. So things like that was really the look. And then I know our temporary workers are going up just a little bit hourly, so included that to stay competitive for our part-time guys that I know we need them. So, and that the HR knows about that request, and so does Kelly. So.
all right, and this is the ISF.
Our temporary ones are the ISF ones that we get on
That
a.
way they get a job lot, so they can help pay for their
Pay the restitution
and things like that.
and housing.
And that's all four precincts.
Yeah, we all use them, and it's competitive with local, businesses around here that they use them as well, and so we need to stay. When I say competitive with them, I mean pay-wise. We want to, make sure that they're definitely valued employees for us.
Anything else in this regard? 3, 4.
Mine's pretty much the same, going up for the two counts. Added some for the fuel, and added some big ones for engineering. It's probably not going to be enough, but so we're going out there this morning.
Now, so if you don't mind, Commissioner Collier, I'm going to pull that out just for discussion. Like, the engineering is all due to the flood, so is there a way, because we're going to have to pay for all that up front. I say it's 3, but that's not going to attack his next budget, is it? Are we going to be able to use funds from some of the emergency money to cover that before we get reimbursement? Because just the engineering alone on some of those projects would kill his annual budget.
And that was kind of my dilemma on trying to put a budget together, is how much do I, we don't have to, or is it gonna come out of my budget and fix the road and then get reimbursed from FEMA? Or is it gonna be up to general? How much are we gonna get back from FEMA,
Well,
Well, even if it's approved, you're only going to get 75%.
75?
75%.
It was-
So I guess for the engineering costs, I think the problem is there's a requirement for FEMA to how and when we impact the, right? So there's apparently two tranches of reimbursement. One is the amount of money you spend in response to the disaster itself, like trying to get emergency vehicles. You had the culvert that you had washed out and you were replacing. And then the second is the second level of the funding that they're going to provide is to prevent that bridge, waterway, or whatever to wash out and prevent that from washing out. And then in both cases, they pay 75%, but it's really important as to when you affect that change, right? In other words, when you actually do it. So in the case of the engineering, it's like, are we just doing engineering just to get the road passable again, or are we trying to harden it for future flood? And so that's, if it's just trying to get the, Mr. Byerly's point is if we're doing it to restore that road so it's passable for people and emergency personnel, that qualifies from our $1 million fund balance amount that should be paid for there. And then it won't come out of your, the hardening. Joe Don, you know more about that?
On the mitigation side, that's, again, if he submits it as a mitigation project, then FEMA has to approve it. But, so that's completely up to them, subjective approval from FEMA as to whether it be reimbursed for mitigation. But to put it back the way it was, they should cover 75% of it.
But still, you don't have a number of how much it's gonna be to get your 75% back. Is it $1 billion or $500 million or?
Yeah, I mean, they'll, as I understand it, that they're going to want to meet with us on a regular basis to identify which, like when you put that culvert back in and to look at aprons. I forgot, did that culvert already have aprons on it when it was washed out?
It did.
Concrete aprons? Okay, so that's going to become the issue, is trying to restore it back to what it was in number one, so it's passable for emergency people and emergency vehicles. And this, number two, is restoring it just back to what it was. Now, if you want to put a bridge or something out for mitigation in the future, that would be a different discussion. It would have to be pre-approved for them to take that on. So, okay, I do have some meetings scheduled regarding FEMA over the next few days, so maybe spend a little bit more time to really get the handle on this, because if it's related to the disaster, both the restoration and the long-term recovery and mitigation, I think we can discuss additional actions to make sure that we understand what's coming out of that money we set aside for the disaster a few weeks ago, that we might have to do a little bit of clarification.
But to answer your question, the payment of the engineering should come out of the emergency fund that we dedicated for that, and then be reimbursed back, from FEMA. Once they give it, and that the engineer gives you an estimate on what it's going to cost, up to whatever they're allowable. I don't remember what FEMA's allowable expense is for engineering, but if it's 30% of the project, 20% of the project, I don't remember.
We'll have to find out.
All right. Anything else on road and bridge? Okay. Call agenda item number 3, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding the following FY26 proposed budget for non-departmental. Is there any public comment?
So no major changes in the non-departmental items so far?
No, I don't see it, didn't see a big need for,
Yeah. Any comments or discussions on that item? Okay. Number 4, call agenda item number 4, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding the following FY26 proposed budgets for health and welfare. And that's item number 4, Humane Society Animal Shelter Contract,
WBCO.
Meals on Wheels, Crime Stoppers, carts, Copper Care burials, and donation. And vet rights donation. Now, I guess on this one, pretty much left everything as it is. I'm concerned about the vet rights taking a $25,000 reduction in their grant. So,
Yeah, I think moving that to 10,000 at a minimum, and I've had discussions with Judge Cunningham in Llano County, and he's going to increase their participation as well. So I don't know as it'll make them whole, but it'll certainly lessen the impact of that losing that 25,000.
and that's kind of what I was thinking. I know currently, we're doing some service still on passes, and I might reach out to the employer to see if they can participate a little bit. As far as I know, like passes, receiving some benefit, but not
Financially participating.
So anyway, so we can work on that. Just kind of went over my pauper burial. Unfortunately, it's one of the sad parts of this job is that people pass away with no kin and no means to provide burial services. So I went ahead and provided some additional funds, requesting additional funds there. And then cards and a letter for requesting $8,000. Anything else? Public comment? I think I've already opened that. All right, I call agenda item number 5, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding the following FY26 proposed budgets for health and welfare and indigent health care. This is a statutory requirement. It's set in law the amount of money that we're supposed to provide, but we have not been using very much of this fund. We opened it up a few weeks ago to allow for diabetes equipment, I think it was the term that it was called. So again, people still have to qualify at the 21% or poverty level to even receive any kind of payment of services. So any further comments?
Okay, never mind. I'm sorry, I was on the wrong agenda item.
Okay, number 6, discuss and consider take appropriate action regarding the following FY26 proposed budget for health and welfare other. This is the TDHS Child Welfare Clothing, TDHS Child Welfare Special Needs, Family Crisis Center, Children's Advocacy Center, CASA, Boys and Girls Club, and then potentially new services of Arc of Highland Lakes, Blue Bonnet Trails Community Service, and YMCA of the Highland Lakes. Is there any public comment? Okay, seeing none?
Do you want to go over the potential new services, what you were discussing there?
Sure. So I reached out a few weeks ago, Chief Deputy has talked in the past at the Commissioners Court about the CIT program and having, when somebody's having issues where the Sheriff's Office can address a lot of crisis things that are related
Crisis
to law
intervention.
enforcement or people potentially coming into the law enforcement. But when I met with Lubon Trails a few weeks ago, some of the things that they do is have some sort of placement bid for family members before they get to a crisis center and call the Sheriff's Office and reach out to do some civilian placement, personal placement to get some help. I don't know what that looks like. I haven't fully fleshed it out, but the potential is there that is a non-law enforcement response through medical trauma or other avenues for people to get some help. I don't want to take anything away from the Sheriff's Office. It's just sometimes there might be some places where we have opportunities in front for people to get some help instead of just waiting until it gets into a crisis.
Well, sure.
The ARC at Highland Lakes has done a tremendous job of they're receiving, I think a few weeks ago, it was like $600,000 being distributed to people in Vernon County and a few people in Lampasas because they didn't have any kind of organized response up there. Not that we're responsible for that, but I want to be careful that right now we don't really have any donations. We have the MOU and they're receiving money on our behalf to distribute back to the people of Vernon County. And I wanted to at least bring up the opportunity to consider whether we should help pay for that or provide some resources to that. And then the YMCA of Highland Lakes is generally a city program, but we could consider, I talked to the executive director a while back, consider maybe opening some funding programs during the summer for kids out in the county that may not have memberships. I don't know. So not required, just an idea that they brought to me. I don't not quite fleshed out, so we can.
So I know like A through F, as far as this goes, is funded, if I'm right, through the Child Safety Fund. So they qualify under the restrictions of that fund.
Okay.
Some of this new stuff, depending on if it ties to child safety. I know I've talked to Eddie Ardondo about the YMCA's summer program for kids, and and we felt like that fit. I think back at the time it was for child safety and giving them a place to go in the summer, so it probably fit. I didn't push it any further until the next budget, but some of these have to fit that to be funded, and then some of these wouldn't fit that child money, but not to say that we can't consider from somewhere else. But I would like to get with the auditor on that fund, child safety fund, and see what the fund balance is, if these numbers need to be adjusted up or down, because as that money runs out or it gets more, we can either adjust what we give or add somebody, things like that. So before the budget's final.
That fund that we adopted a few weeks ago where unclaimed property comes back into that from people after 10 years or something like that. Okay.
Yeah, and I see where some physical activity hasn't occurred yet for like Advocacy Center and CASA and Boys and Girls Club. I think they haven't invoiced for this year yet, so.
Okay. All right. Is there any other public comment? Okay. All right. That concludes the meeting. The time is now 11:15. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Move to close the workshop.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay.